Burgess.
Here.
Morton.
Here.
Myers.
Here.
Hoskin.
Here.
Washington. Here. Williams. Here.
All right. Before going to item number 2, I know Shmohan was not able to make it tonight, but he's on his cell phone. If there's any questions that we have that we cannot answer, he said, he assured me between myself and Trustee Burgess, we should be able to answer all the trustees' questions. But if there's anything that we cannot answer, we're going to get him on his cell phone and get these answered before this comes before us tonight at 7 o'clock. So we have before us the 2013-2014 budget hearing. We'll open it up to the board first before we go to public participation. Anybody have anything? Wait, can you hear me out there? Okay. Trustee Burgess?
I didn't check. Did we change the contributions to the committee? Did we change the contributions to the committee?
I think he said we can leave it the same. Let me just double check.
Yeah, we did.
It's still $1,000, right?
No.
Yeah. It's $500.
Yeah.
Okay.
Page three. Okay, no, I'm in.
I think they cut it in half.
Yeah, cut it in half.
Put everybody at 5.
Correct.
Page 3.
Page 3, okay.
On the budget.
Any other questions?
You're talking about separate funds for the, and I talked to Mohan about this too, about the separate funds from the police department, that they were going to all still have to go together. If that's still the same.
Nothing has changed. It's also the same. You're talking about the K-9
Right.
and the toll fund, right? Those two. Those are still the same. You still go through one.
But I mean, there's still line items. They still go together.
Correct. Again, that's set up for checks and balances. Police department needs something for the K-9 unit. All they have to do is go to him. So we're issuing a check rather than checkbook being in one hand. Nothing has changed. I know that when it came from the board probably about 4 or 5 weeks ago. But nothing has changed. Any other questions?
Well,
Yeah, I see, okay, yeah, okay, that, the water fund now, I see, okay, it's anticipated to get that.
Yes, yes it is. In fact, I received, that's what I got from you, the copies from the IEP. Yes. Okay, the village clerk will send out a packet that I received from the IEPA, and it does, everything looks in favor. We will be getting along, and we're taking the next steps. They received all their input from the public hearings. They've answered the questions for the ones who had complaints. You'll see those complaints. I gave the whole entire packet to the village clerk. She's making copies for all the trustees. So it's IEPA is moving forward in the same direction. They said it's the best option that we have before us, and it's the most affordable for the village residents. So they're in favor of moving forward with the IEPA.
The wind tax money, he doesn't have that in mind. Yeah, what we have done for the wind tax fund, from the deal we made with the security guards, wind tax.
Right.
He doesn't have it itemized in the calendar. I know we use it for other things, but I just wanted to see what's right now.
Can you write that down? I thought it was something like 50,000.
Right.
6 or 8.
But it should be in here, so we can have, so when the accountants go over, they can see that that's accounted, that's in there.
I don't know that question. Can you write that question down? We can call him before the meeting starts. So we want to know.
Just want to know where it is on the budget.
Well, we want, first I want to know how much we have, and then where did he put it in, under what line item? I'm sure, it goes on the revenue, I'm sure that part I understand. It should not go on anything that's together. But it shouldn't just be out there floating in general, because if we, as a board,
It's separate.
separate, we made that separate, so it wouldn't be payroll, things like that.
Correct.
Because it's not taxes, I'm sorry, it's not, money that was contributed by the taxpayers.
I'll have your answer.
So it's not taxpayers' money.
Right. Yeah, definitely. It's put it aside, and like I said, it wasn't paid by the taxpayers' monies, and it wasn't part of the TIF funds,
Right.
so it was.
I don't want to get messed up, the next day we know we find out that that's gone. Because the general fund, as we all know, got up everything as it should, because that's what it's for.
Right.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir. Trustee March.
motor fuel tax, did it go down also?
What page are you on? Thinking of there?
It looked like it was down by about 50,000. Are we, did we get that on that too? Off the other.
What page are you on?
Motor fuel tax.
What page are you on?
Page 11.
Page 11? Take a look at it.
I don't remember, that's one of the ones that, Mohan said would be cut. And I remember figuring, it looks like it,
Are you talking about 465?
yeah.
When you saw three, like I see what you're saying, you saw 332? That was 6 months,
Right.
but we actually got it 6 months, 424. And he proposed that we would get 465.
And there will be money left over. We're looking at the end of the year being about $47,000 in surplus through more fuel tax.
I mean, I appreciate him doing that because that's money that we get over and above, which is good. But that goes for repairs and whatever CDBG doesn't cover to finish that project, comes out of this board.
And what we did this year is, just so everyone knows, there's 99 locations. If you see the streets being repaired where there's water main breaks, those 99 locations this year was repaired through more fuel tax monies. Some of the other street repairs were done through the community development block grant funds that we received.
Oh, yes, you see, if you go down to the bottom of the page, you see the expenditures.
Right.
So you see what we got in the expenditures, and the difference is 47 grand, which I can tell you from being on the board for long enough. That'll be gone December. It will, I mean, till we get some more, that'll be gone.
So it always goes back into your streets and
Yeah.
infrastructure.
Yeah, because see, after December, we can't do much work out there. So, and then in the beginning, in the fall, come back to spring, come and start again with that CDBG, whatever we need grant for that, so we have something. But more food comes a lot, it doesn't necessarily be streets, it doesn't necessarily be streets.
Right. Any other questions? Yes. Trustee Foster.
This is from experience.
What page?
The question is on the sewer, revenue for the sewer,
Yes.
what rate do you use for that? Do you use the old rate, $5 rate, or $3 rate?
It's not figured in at all.
Right.
It's just figuring out exactly what we're seeing right now.
You can't do that, so that's.
That's why I asked.
So right now, if you look at your sewer rates, if I remember right, it's probably showing us in the negative, where we're in the red. So once the village board passes, even at the lower amount, which is before the board tonight, if I remember right, the $3 amount, if that passes, that will give us enough to keep us in the black barely. So,
That was my question.
any other questions?
One last question. Just on the one that was closed out, correct?
That's correct. What page are you on?
19.
If the one completely closed out, we've already distributed the funds. All the rest of it. Any other questions? All right. Seeing none? Okay, trustee Rich?
No, I was gonna say before we get through the tips, you know, now, we do have the tip audit. Think they're doing that,
Do we have-
we can file that, because I do see some negatives, but there's nothing we can do with that.
We're doing the audit right now for 2019, 2010, 2011. Right? We just did 2009, 2010, we had 2010, 2011, which we're expecting to see the results from that by the end of this month, beginning of next month. It should be completed.
Yeah, now, so you can understand on the tips, the bonds are paid before anybody else gets paid on tip 2 and 3. So therefore, even though it shows a negative, the bonds are paid. That's the first thing they have to show, therefore it doesn't cost them anything. Then they get their money out of that afterwards. And you get paid and then the owners are made the property owners get theirs.
Whatever's left.
Right, after the fact. So that negative doesn't mean that we're not paying our bond on those particular trips.
Correct.
Does everybody understand what trip bonds is?
Any other questions?
The bottom line is, is that the city came out over the, what's the bottom line? Not the tip, okay.
Total 19, is it total 19? Yeah, trying to find the page there.
Is that an appropriation ordinance?
Yeah. It's like 19 something million, is it?
$19,525,539.
Okay, that's what the budget is. What we are appropriating is right there.
Same amount.
Say this is so zero, so in other words, it will be balanced to the nickel, is that what you're saying? We're left it over?
According to Mohan, the budget is balanced. And the appropriations is the figure I just stated.
No, what I'm saying is it balanced to the nickel, or do we have anything over?
According to Mohan, the budget is balanced, and to me, that means two things.
Right.
There's no backwards or forwards. That's
Yeah.
what I mean.
Our balance, our budget is very more conservative, bare bones.
Right.
So,
But I didn't see a figure, that's what I was trying to see, I just gave it.
It's in the appropriations ordinance. Paperwork being filed with Cook County is right in front of you, and it's the $19 million figure there. This is one from last week. One from last week doesn't have the sum in it. It's the one that's being filed with the county.
Okay.
And the figure is the figure that I just told you.
I didn't see that.
Okay.
any other questions? Comments? All right, we have any more questions before we go on? So we should get with, Village Clerk, shall make sure she reaches out to Mohan, make sure you get the question answered. We have the two questions.
And one question. Okay, for a second.
Well, it was the same one, it goes, how much is there?
Right.
And
The
where's
amount,
it at?
where is it?
Where's it at? That's the questions. All right, we have for you, before we go on tonight. No other questions? No? All right, let's go ahead and move to item number 3, public participation. Why don't you do it, why don't you come up to the microphone, that way we keep it pretty, hopefully we pick up on the tape also.
Mayor X, I just have one question. Department heads all received a packet from Mohan, and it was dated June 18th. Were there any additions or subtractions since June 18th, or is this the packet that we worked on?
There was some, but I don't know, the addition and subtractions from June 18th.
The fire truck?
No, the whole packet was dated June 18th.
Right.
Were there any additions, subtractions?
There were no additions, I can say that.
The only changes were the fire truck, the $7,000 got moved.
No, the whole pack. Is it still the same from June the 18th to the present?
I can tell you that there is some subtractions that were made, like the committees and commissions, they were all given $1,000. Now with this budget, they're only getting $500. So,
Because I was looking through the paperwork and I couldn't find it nowhere. And as department head, shouldn't we be aware of what's going on?
you know, what we do is write that down, and find out, especially for, for the fire department. We try to keep everything the same. The items that were adjusted were like for committees, commissions, there was a couple other little areas, but I don't remember us moving to anything for the fire department. Or the
Well, I
police
looked at
department.
that part and I was just wondering if there were any other changes since this was presented June the 18th.
Well, if you want to ask that question, we'll get that answer to it before the meeting tonight.
Thank you.
All right?
How you doing, Mr. Mayor?
Good.
I hear you want a balanced budget, which is great. Has anything been done with, we haven't paid 100% of the village employees? Insurance.
Yeah, I think we're in negotiations right now.
How far along are you? You're talking about saving money, which is good, but there is nothing
I
been
can
said.
I can tell you that insurance is an issue that we're talking about with our employees, but they are in negotiations. We're ready to go to mediation with our police department, because we've come to the point where we're not getting any further. But insurance is one of the issues that we, looking at, where, it may no longer be 100%.
Okay, one more thing is, to get with the street lights and stuff like that, I don't know if you guys changed companies for fixing the street lights. My brother, I went over to his house today, his light's been broken on his corner for a year and a half. On 216th and, right across the street from the school. And you, of course, well, not even when I have kids going to school, but I mean when they come home or whatever the case may be, they're still fixed. Now, who do I talk to? Do I talk to you? Or do I talk to call ComEd up? You know, it's not getting done.
Our streetlights, the 216th and Daily is probably our public works department. Is currently repairing all of our streetlights. What they do is, if you call in and give them the location.
My brother has numerous times. There's nothing been done.
All right, I'll follow up on this one, 216th and Daily.
216th, that's where the pole is laying about halfway, almost into the street.
All right,
Thank you.
all right, thank you.
I have quite a few questions, and I would like to know if there are public copies that we use of the budget. Since I asked last week, when was this budget hearing going to be held, and I was told it would be held next week, I would like to know if there's a public copy. The answer was last week, it will be held on the 15th or the 27th. It was not the 9th.
It was stated at a public meeting, and the public notices have been posted in the newspaper, the hallway, and the library, that the meeting was going to be held today at 6 o'clock. And at last week's meeting, it was stated that the public hearing would take place today. The budget has been available at the village hall, the library, and the internet for the last 10 to 12 days.
Okay, so I'm asking now for a public copy that I can use to address my questions. And I'm not going to give that. If not, make the decision. It's a decision you can make.
Gonna give it back?
I mean, it should be one sitting on the shelf anywhere, somewhere.
It was at the village hall for the last 12 days.
And I will check your minutes because I know I asked last
Yes,
week, and
ma'am.
the date was not given the night. You could say we publicize it, we might publicize it Tuesday or Wednesday. Thank you. Sure you can. Mr. Mayor, my questions will start not with your with the revenue, but with your expenditures. Starting with account descriptions I am on page 5 of 25. I would like to know how many employees is represented in the police, public, property and safety, where the last time in your budget of 2012, it was 783,000, and then for the other 6 months, it was 688, which is number 1, which is on 0255100, which now you're saying that you want 1.543 million for salaries. Then you are budgeting 160,000 for overtime. And here you had the 80,000 and 130,000. So I'm kind of wondering why is it such a discounted amount? If you are saying that we continue to need police, they continue to need overtime in order to get the work done, and we have issues with public safety. So I'm interested in understanding why is that number not the same as the two numbers of the previous 2 6-month budget added together?
All right, first of all, let me make some clarification here, that when you look at this budget, the first column is what was budgeted, the second column is the actual amounts, and the third column is the amounts that were proposed for the next 12 months. Now, when you look at the first column, which you stated was 783,000 for salaries, that's what we budgeted for last year. However, actual amounts we paid out was 688,000. We are estimating and projecting, proposing $1.5 million this year. Again, last year's budget was for a 6-month budget. This is for a 12-month budget. So that's why the numbers are so much higher. The other thing is, if you look at actually last year, we spent $130,000 in overtime. We're estimating $160,000 in overtime this year. And the number is down from last year, based on a 6-month budget compared to a 12-month budget, due to the fact that we have an additional 6 officers that have been brought on to fill vacancies. We had vacancies last year, so we filled those vacancies.
For the same for the police department? Like you said, you budgeted the 1,166,000, and you only spent 1,080,000. So it's only about a $20,000 difference. Again, it was a 6-month budget, but then why is it again 2 million and not an evenly balanced 2 million? And also a question about the decrease in the K-9. You no longer have K-9?
We did not. We just brought one back on.
Okay, so is that why it's only $6,000 and not the 1115 that you used?
Okay. So last year we budgeted nothing for the K-9. We spent actual $11,500. It's getting the K-9 back. We now have the K-9. We're working with our K-9 officer, and we estimate we'll spend about $6,000 this year. We no longer pay for the new officer. I don't want to call it a dog, but the new officer is considered an officer.
And then professional, you actualized 29,000 and then you lowered it to 21.
Actual amounts we spent last year were 28,000. Yes, we're pushing for 21,000 this year.
So I'm just kind of asking why isn't it not the exact same? I mean, the police department uses more of our resources than any other. I'm just asking. And one other under the police department, you budgeted 35,000, you only spent 4 on the contractual services. If you only spent 4 and you budgeted 35, why are we spending 10 now? It's so inconsistent in the amounts that you're changing. And I'm trying to understand.
Contractor services back in 2012, 2013, we budgeted 35,000. We actually spent only $4,000. Okay, based on last year was a 6-month budget, it's pretty much double, and we propose and project $10,000 this year versus a 6-month budget to a 12-month budget.
Line up the eight. I'm on page 6 of 25. I would like to know how many personnel is represented under the community development account.
One.
And that one is paid for 50,000, and his friend is 10. So we spend $80,000 on one employee. One person.
Numbers are.
So what happened to the other part-time people for Kevin? Where they are, 30,000. That's right. I'm on page 7 of 25. And I'm on the Parks and Recs, or Parks and Playground. You budgeted 5,700, you spent 4,700, and so you doubled it to 1,140. Do the Parks and Rec still have those 2 employees? Or how many employees is represented in the part-time people?
We have 1 employee. And they're part-time.
Page 8. Municipal audits. I would like to know which contractual service on the municipal audit is the one that's represented here, saying that we are on, I understand, you just said 10, the year of 10 to 11. Is this the one that's represented in this contract here? The 35,000?
Remember,
Just page 8 at the top, it says municipal audits, contractual services.
this is for paying the auditors to perform the audits. This is what we project we're going to spend this year, $35,000 in audits.
So we're not sure about approximately how much of this 35 will be for the one that's currently being done, the 2010, 11, then 11 and 12, and then the 12 and 13. All, if it's done this year, will be covered by the 35,000. Is that what you're saying?
Basically, Francine, what's gonna happen, you saw the other one was for 6 months. You only got one. Matter of fact, to tell you the truth, we paid more than that for that 6-month audit. I don't know why it's only 25,000, I think the audit was $50,000.
And we paid the first 6 months too.
Huh?
Part of it was paid the first 6
Yeah,
months,
well,
because it went over like 9 months, a period of time for that audit.
so 35,000 is all we budget. To tell you the truth, that's all we can afford. We may not be able to get all the audits done, what you're talking about, the next 2 years or whatever. We may be only be able to get one audit done with this money, unless the money comes in.
Okay, so this will pay for the current audit that they're currently working on. Just waiting on their decision.
Right. It'll pay for what they're working on right now, and unless the money comes in, we won't be able to do it. It's not budgeted, because the audits cost around $45,000 for a year. But don't forget, the last 2 audits were, the next audit, I think, is gonna be an 18-month audit. Then we're gonna go into the 260, to the 260
Thank you.
chance that all the audits will not be complete this year, is what I'm trying to say, it won't be up to date unless there's some more money coming in, so 35,000 will not do all the three audits that we have done.
I have no comments about the liability insurance. I'm surprised it's only that amount with all the incidents that we had. Again, the dispatch center, I'm still on page 8. I want to know how many employees is covered under that, $250,000. That's the salary, and then with the benefits now to 119,000, the number of employees.
You know, budget.
I don't know if I can give you a number. I think they're all full-time, and I want to say that we have,
I think it's 4 or 5.
I want to say that it's 4, but I'm not sure that that's the exact number.
But then I don't know if what's name salary comes out of that, Lisa.
No, part of it is.
That's what I thought. So that's how it comes out, probably one station.
So it's 4.5 employees.
Oh, don't close on that.
And I'm not sure that half her salary comes out, because she comes out of different things, but I know part of her responsibility is to oversee that, but I want to say we have 4 employees like that. I wouldn't put that down to quote. I'm stating that I don't know if that's correct.
We don't currently have that information in front of us. That's just a guess.
And hopefully, Francine, that the fringe benefits will change across the board. Hopefully, within the next few months, the fringe benefits for all employees will change.
Yeah, if we get rid of the 100%, which has been happening for the last 10 years. I'm not excited. You don't think it's going to
I said hopefully.
Okay, I just think about this stuff. Good. Yeah. Fire, I don't want to fire that, but it's all about the same. No, I don't get anything with revenue, I know what it is. It is what it is. I am on page 10 of 25. Again, for the fire fund expenditures, I am interested in understanding how many personnel. It says regular and part-time.
You have 2 regular paid, part-time is your shift. That's, 7 days a week, 4 hours.
And the IMRF is only for the 2 regular employees?
Just 1. I'm not even.
Chief, could you speak up, because I can't hear you, it was close.
You go to one person. The chief doesn't, it's not an IMRF. It's not an any benefit package, anything. It's not a benefit package, or nothing. You suggest a yearly salary with no benefit.
I'm still under page 10. I'm down to other contractual services. We had $70,000. I'm kind of understanding what is that about and what is it for? The other contractual services.
That's for your blood samples.
And Bud is not accounted for in any other area in this budget. This is, can you say ambulance then? Why does it just say other contractual?
Is there a contracted service?
So you don't want to specify so citizens understand that that's Bud?
They're contracted.
The ambulance service is contracted out.
All right, I know what you. I am on page 12 of 25. Drug seizure fund revenue. I would like to understand why wasn't none of the $29,000 of funds used period last year with all the drug dealing that we had. There's no money was removed, none was added, it's the exact same amount. To me, that seems impossible when you do a budget.
I'm not sure I understand your question.
My question is that right here you have on the account, beginning fund for the drug seizure fund revenue, that it was $29,101.
Okay?
None of it was used, and I would like to know why none of it was used. That we came back with the same beginning budget, and then you added for drug enforcement funds $50,000. Proposed to use this year when we actually only used $2,000. So I'm kind of perplexed about how we got these numbers. And first of all, why is it that we have nothing used in drug seizure funds?
Well, first of all, drug seizure fund can only spend on certain items.
Yes.
Secondly, you'll see that under the previous administration, only $2,800 was brought in, and back then on a 6-month budget, they estimated $10,000. So there was no real enforcement under the previous administration and their leadership. And now there is enforcement. We estimate with the increased police presence and our tough stance on crime under this administration that we project $50,000 in revenue.
Mr. Mayor, I would remind you that you were a part of that administration, you voted as a trustee, and sometimes as a mayor and a trustee, sir. So please don't, I really don't care about the explanations about the other administration. I really just want my questions answered, sir. Because now it appears to me as if you putting blame somewhere. I'm just asking questions.
Next question?
Yes, sir. I still have it.
Wait.
I am on water fund expenditure, sir. I am on page 14. Of 25. I would like to know how many personnel is represented in the water fund.
Don't have that answer right now. Next question?
Okay, since you don't have that answer, do you know approximately how much of this salary was an increase? How much is this $388,772 was an increase from the last particular budget of salary?
So it's very clear. The budget was for $170,000, $142,000 were spent. We're estimating $388,000.
And what percent of increase is that, sir? Because you guys voted an increase amount, it's percentage, if I remember.
I don't have that answer right now. Next question?
Yes, sir. I have it. Contractual services, sir, under the water fund. Who would that be? And the amount is $200,000.
That would be for contract services, if I remember right. I don't have an answer to that, but I'm pretty confident, and this is for the air strippers, any other type of contract services that we have, $200,000.
And
The other thing too is, you know what, I need to double check, because this may be CGBB, revenues coming in, that we need for street repair. Let me double check. Yes, sir.
Some of those contractual services, we use an outside source to come in and test our water. And that's a contract. They come in throughout the building, they test the water in different homes, things like that. That level that you got, that habit that you guys do twice a year, that's probably contractual services. When they come out and they do a test of the whole building, and they send it out to everybody. Then you got about 2 weeks ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago, when you got that letter from the water department, that's part of contractual services.
Okay, then what's covered under professional services, and which is $70,000?
But it's in professional services, is things that happen now, that's your lawyers and things like that, you know. You have to have lawyers That,
I'm glad to see him back, if he's back. Sewer server, I am on page 15 of 25. You budgeted 327,000 and you actualized 315. And so if you're doubling to make it 12 months, then why is it only 520 to 828?
That's what it's proposed. You got the,
That's why I I'm on page 16 of 25, so you can join me there. It says sewer funds expenses. Again, the number of employees. Do we not employ anyone? So my question is that we don't have answers to, when can I approximately get the answers? Will Mohan be able to get that information through you, or he can give the recording?
yeah, I would suggest you for you, because I don't have the answer tonight, so.
I'm sure you would rather have him listen to that tape and give me some answers than to have me FOIA every one of these questions, because I don't do that. And I don't think that would be very nice. First of all, I plan to call, let's call the state attorney anyway, because you have a meeting with several different dates advertised.
Well, you know, I find that sad is that all these residents are sitting here when there was budget hearings and you could have attended. This has been prepared. You could have asked these questions before tonight's meeting, so.
17 people out of 12,000. Tell me how you got the information to the public.
Hang on. Is there any questions?
Oh, no, I'm still going to do budget. I just asked a simple question, and then all of a sudden I asked her to come to me. It had nothing to do with your budget. I'm willing to continue with your budget, so. I just have a question. You won't find them offensive because you have no answers. It's not offensive. All you have to do is just tell me that you'll get back to me. But to tell me the FOIA, every one of my questions you did not have an answer to, I think that is demeaning and belittling. You're doing it on purpose.
Do you have any other questions?
Yes, I do, sir, and I'm on page 18 of 25. I want to understand, under professional services again, under your capital outlay, it was budgeted for $250,000, $259,000. And you say you only actualized or used approximately $6,000. And then again, you budgeted $250,000.
This one here is the CN Noise Mitigation Fund expenditures. This is revenue that was given to mediate or mitigation of the noise with CN Railroad. It shows that there's $250,000 left there to spend. There's additional work with trustee Burgess was on this one. And I mean, we've got the noise barriers, we've got the what do you call it down the center of Torrance Avenue? Lineators. So, just to stop the noise of the trains going back and forth. So,
what was your question?
My question was, why is it the same, still at that amount?
Oh,
The
okay.
250,000, to my understanding, that's how much it's given.
that's how much it costs.
That's what happened, we saw it, should have been something taken out of professional services.
Last year, 2,800 was taken out last year.
That's from Robinson Insurance, because they went ahead and they did something, plus litigation. But it was illegal, and that came out of that. that account cannot be touched unless it has litigation, noise litigation, down CNE, and pick up the class. So that money will stay in there until it's, can be used for that purpose only. Nothing else other than professional services, because nothing more money can be used for that money.
And let me ask you this, since you gave the explanation, sir. Did CNN also say that some of that money could be used for residents also in mitigating the noise as well?
If the resident, if the noise problem, and anyone lives out in that area, they can apply, yes. And then it goes through, basically it goes through CNN because they're the ones that's the holder. And if they deem that is a legal and a proper withdrawal, then yes, they'll tell us to go ahead and withdraw the money. But outside of that, all we do is hold on. We can't touch it. We can't fix tracks or something like that. It's only for noise litigation.
Any other questions?
Yes, sir. I'm on page 19 of 25.
Okay.
And I'm interested in understanding, I thought tip one was paid off and totally done, and we have a whole budget area for tip one.
That shows no money being spent or right, so tip one is closed. It shows again previous years.
So, this shows that we actually spent $306,000 last year.
The previous years.
So it is totally closed. So why is it on the budget at all? If it's closed, right there.
Any other questions?
Yes, sir, I'm looking at it. And I didn't have my own copy from home. I am on page 21 of 25. Logistics Center Fund expenditures. We show nothing for professional services, for TIF group.
What page are you on?
I am on page 21 of 25. And it says fund expenditures for TIF 3. And it says professional services, we have none. No professional services for TIF 3. But zero.
Zero.
What is it in TIF 2? Let me find that, but maybe I overlooked that one. Yeah, let's go back to page 20. Why is no funds been? You have nothing taken out for TIF 2?
Nothing proposed for this year. Pretty cut and dry, nothing.
So we're paying nothing on any of our debt services that are related to that? Or is this nothing supposed to be paid?
Because of our dating last year.
We'll give it a date, I mean, I don't know that this too, we should have something, but we didn't take out that. That's all.
It's not there. There's nothing to come out.
Please stay back.
We can bring it to check, but there's no money. If the money's there, there's no money there. And it's not projected to be this year. The money stuff that was dated for last year, was dated for last year. She answered that question. She didn't do it.
Yeah, so three, there should be something that's there. There should be some compensation that's pull outside. That's about professional services.
I get the answer. Next question?
So it's still no question, no answer to that one, right? The reasons why there's no funds allocated in for professional services in the other text. So are we, how are we gonna pay your attorneys?
It is what you have in mind. Next question?
So, as a citizen, I want to understand how you have nothing for professional services and none of your tips. And your lawyers represent you at TIF meetings every time you have a TIF meeting. As well as your finance people, and you have nothing here in the budget for professional services. Matter of fact, let's go back to 23. I thought I was on 24, but I'm gonna go back to 23. And I just messing with my understanding here. I know what plus one is two. Property taxes for police pension, okay, got it. Let's get it expended. I have a question for, page 23. Of course, it's under police pension fund expenditure. I want to understand, what is the return pension contribution? It was budgeted $8,000, we spent $20,000, and now we're appropriating $39,000.
Okay, the answer in regards to tip 2 and 3 are contiguous with 4, therefore I had budgeted in tip 4 with tip 4 money. That's the answer for one.
Let me look for tip 4, see if I can find money. I don't see any.
Professional services, $7,000.
That was the original $7,000 I asked about professional service. I'm sorry, I'm looking for tip 4 so I can find it, ma'am.
Page 22.
Any other questions?
Oh, yes, sir, I see that question. Thank you for that. And I still not seeing anything on the tip 1, 2, and 3, all of them. Yeah, they are, but it's never been done that way. It would help if you're giving us an explanation, I might not have as many questions. Okay, I'm back to my, page 23, sir. And I'm still trying to understand the return pension contribution, and how do we get to the 39,000?
I don't have an answer for this question.
Okay, I'm still on that same page, the last item. Then it said fire and pension fund expenses, contingency, we have 0. And last, and we budgeted 39, and then we spent 39, so why is it 0 this time? If you used everything that you budgeted last time, why is it 0?
It is what it is. So it's time to vote.
It is what it is. Okay, I'll go to now, budget your money.
We're not sitting here.
I still have one more question, sir. I'm struggling. I am on page 25, which includes our debt service. We have a beginning balance of $8 million. And I would like to know what you justify the $9 million that you came up with. Yeah, this is. I didn't see it anywhere else in the budget. It said total debt services revenue. You got a net debt service fund that's gonna have $5 million. After you spend $4 million.
Page 33, fiscal former trustees, so, any questions?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear my answer, sir. What did you
I
say?
said the page is very clear, especially for a former trustee. Do you have any other questions?
But everyone else in the audience is in the form of trustee, they might not understand. I'm sorry.
Do you have any other questions?
Yes, sir. I'll take you back to page 3 since I missed that. Under elected officials, the salary is now budgeted for $88,000. Does that include everyone now getting the 125 per year?
Yeah, we got 125 per meeting for 2 to 4 years. No raises been given in the first years.
Okay. But maybe thought I knew that since I was a former trustee. I do have one other question, I'm sure it has to deal with professional services. On that same page, 3 that I mentioned. Under professional services, you budgeted $350,000, you spent $401,000, and now you're allocated to use $500,000. Is that with lawyers only? Page 3.
Professional services, usually your attorneys.
So we're gonna pay these attorneys $500,000 this year.
No, we have quite a few attorneys.
You said we had quite a few?
We have our legal counsel, and there's other attorneys that were brought on, because the board found out later on by the previous administration there, covering other cases, other litigation. So there's estimated $500,000 in litigation costs this year for professional services.
I guess we say, I know I was at the meeting when you changed and gave, open and search all of the law contracts. Madam Clerk, here's your copy back. And Mr. Mayor, I ain't done with my questions, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Any other questions?
Yes. One of them.
Do you have any other questions? Please come to the podium.
Sorry, I need my pen back.
Bernadine Hopkins. I wanted to know what the cost was for the fireworks, and is there a balance?
That's not part of the budget.
This is not the village board meeting, this is
Oh,
the
it's not?
budget hearing.
This is the
This is a
budget?
special meeting.
I apologize,
Okay.
I apologize.
Right.
Oh, well, since we are here on this,
God.
may I ask, how do you, when did this start? What time is it? 6 o'clock? 6 o'clock?
Yes. The last 45 minutes answering one person's question. Any other questions? All right, hearing none, move for adjournment. The motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion, is there a second? All in favor, say aye. Meeting adjourned.
Do a roll rev over to the other meeting. They might take a 5 or 10 minute break. So that, you missed 40 minutes of the drinking.
Gabby.